Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another Marine ECM, this time working on a 2006 Ski Nautique. It's a 5.7 liter. This computer is coming from Northern Ireland, Ireland, from Lisburn. Johnny, this is your computer. You will know immediately as soon as he sees all these numbers he has put on the computer. So his concern is injector A. And yes, I am definitely able to reproduce. Disregard the other folds in here because actually when it came, it had a lot of folds. So I erased them all, and then yes, injector A comes back. As you see, this is an old style software. All fold codes are 81, and 81 in this case means it's present. Yes, the throttle actuator is not installed, and that's what those faults are. And I don't need that to run the computer. I definitely check all the signals, and I have everything to run here to do the actuator and throttle body, and you have seen that in other videos. But what I'm focusing myself in here is with is current fault. So we have indeed the injector reading 3.6 and 3.6 per bank of injectors. This is the same style than the MEFi 3s and Marine computers on MEFi 3 and 4. They're most of them, unless it's an 8.1, not a batch fire, and that's not all the case or the case all the time, right? So based on case to case. Things that I want you to see is the difference in the amplitude of the light. So this one is definitely dimmer, even though we have a 3.6 activation. What this is telling me is the computer is not able to completely pull it to ground, and I can see that definitely on the oscilloscope. Everything else, he'll pump, the computer reads and talks, and the logic is good, which is good. That's a good sign. But yeah, going back to the test, I have all the data for these new computers, 2004 and up. You got a lot of data bits, and I like that because I like to gather information and then give the right recommendation to the customer. All right, so I'm going to focus ourselves into the oscilloscope, which is at the end the best way to find what's going on in here. And for those that are mechanics, they will have already seen where the problem lies. So bank B is on the blue channel, bank A, injector A is in the red channel, and then I have the EST, which is the green signal, and the yellow is the tachometer. So we definitely see immediately the differences in between these two. If I put cursors on the blue channel, we will have, a good battery voltage and then pulling it in, like almost to ground. And if we can see 0.042, so 40 milliamps. If we do the same thing on the red channel, on the other hand, I'm going to, oh, sorry, I don't know what happened there. If I put this in here and I go over to like the pulse, because there is for a second a pulse that can pull it to ground, but this one is in 9.62, so this will not be able to really pull that injector completely to ground. So we can also create a zoom in here. Let me stamp this so we can see why um, or where or how long this is happening. So it's able to pull to ground to 0.17 but for a fraction of a time. So remember, the injector should be opening right now at 3.6 milliseconds, right? So that's what the computer wants. And the idle or RPMs that I have in here, this activation is happening 58 microseconds. So this is like nothing. And then we have the pulse that is like the 3 point something milliseconds. If I go from here to here, let's say from the start of that pulse to the end, we got 3.5 milliseconds, 3.587, so 3.6 milliseconds. So that's what the computers can see because it is pulling it down, or not the computer, the simulator, but then definitely this driver is compromised. So yes, Jonathan, I'm going to open your computer and hopefully we can give you a good update that this can be repaired. Again, thank you so much for trusting on my Salazar Diagnostics. I know you're sending this all the way from across the world from Ireland, and I'm really humble that I'm reaching out so far away and people is trusting me with their computers from so far away. So I will try my best to make this work. Sometimes it's impossible, but hopefully, because what I'm seeing it might be a good case in here, and I will get with good news to you. All right, this will be part one, testing this computer. As you see, we have the fiber reference and everything is working good. So let me open it up and at least we see what we see before I stop the video. All right, guys, I opened the computer and actually it looks pretty good. I don't see the most common problems you will see with these computers have problems are the ground pads. Let me get something to point. I always use plastic pointers just in case. So these two gray areas in here on this side and on that side are the main ground pads for the entire computer. Obviously, underneath of that, every single sensor or capacitor or IC will be interconnected with the ground path. And this is also a multi-layer computer. But yeah, everything looks good. When I see problems with this, when I see a star or start to see a lot of black dots in there, and that is a problem because it's a burned ground pad. But it's not the case in this one. So again, let me stop here as part one analysis testing, and hopefully after my own test and everything, which I will share on part two, we can come up with a good solution and talk to Jonathan, and then hopefully he approves the repairs. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Thank you, Jonathan, for trusting my Salazar Diagnostics. See you next time. Expect part two. See you soon. Bye bye.